Being alone with yourself is not a retreat, but an encounter with the profound depths of who you are. It's in solitude that you wrestle with your inner chaos, confront your vulnerabilities, and begin to sort out the complexities of your being. We live in a world filled with relentless distractions, phones buzzing, opinions flying, and screens glowing. These distractions might keep you busy, but they keep you from something far more important, the conversation with yourself. Why are we so afraid of being alone? Perhaps it's because we know deep down that the moment we stop the noise, we'll be forced to face truths we've been avoiding. That's the paradox of solitude. It's both terrifying and liberating. You see, there's a part of you that you're not even fully aware of. Call it your potential, your shadow, or your untapped self. It waits in silence, asking questions that the noise of the world drowns out. Who are you? What do you want from life? What are you avoiding? These aren't casual questions. They are the kind that demand you to stand naked before your own conscience. Being alone with yourself isn't about isolation, it's about clarity. It's about realizing that if you're constantly running from silence, you're also running from the opportunity to grow. So think about it. How can you aim at something meaningful if you don't even know what it is? How can you carry the weight of your responsibilities if you haven't built the strength to bear it? Solitude forces you to stop looking outward for answers and start looking inward. Now, being alone doesn't mean sitting in despair or wallowing in self-pity. That's not solitude. That's avoidance dressed in a different outfit. True solitude is active. It's reflective. It's where you analyze your thoughts, challenge your assumptions, and sort out the chaos within. It's not easy, but it's necessary. And it's through this process that you discover something remarkable. You're far more capable, far more complex, and far more resilient than you ever imagined. When you're alone, you meet yourself as both the architect and the critic of your life. You realize that the responsibility for shaping your path lies squarely on your shoulders. That realization might feel heavy at first, but it's also empowering. Because if you're responsible, then you're not a victim of circumstance. You can aim higher, think deeper, and act better. So don't fear being alone with yourself. Embrace it. Set aside time to reflect, to plan, and to recalibrate. Learn to be your own companion, your own critic, and your own guide. Because when you master the art of solitude, you master the art of living. And the world needs people who know themselves, who have wrestled with their chaos and emerged with clarity, direction, and purpose. Remember, it's in the quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts that you begin to shape the person you're destined to become. Don't let that opportunity slip away. Step into solitude and you'll discover that it's not a void to fear, but a wellspring of potential waiting to be tapped. Solitude is often misunderstood. People associate it with loneliness or withdrawal, yet it holds an entirely different meaning when approached with purpose. To be alone with oneself is to step into a space where the mind and heart can unfold without external pressures or distractions. It is in this space that the most profound form of self-discovery occurs. When the constant noise of the outside world fades, we are left with something invaluable, the opportunity to truly meet ourselves. In a world dominated by instant gratification and ceaseless engagement, solitude feels foreign to many. It can even seem intimidating. The absence of external validation and interaction forces us to confront our inner world, the good, the bad, and the unresolved. However, this confrontation is not a punishment, it's an invitation. It's an invitation to understand who we are beyond the roles we play, the opinions we hear, and the expectations placed upon us. Solitude strips away the masks we wear and reveals the essence of our being. When we allow ourselves the time and space to be alone, something remarkable happens. We begin to notice our thoughts and feelings in their rawest form. Without the influence of others, we can examine what we truly believe, what we value, and what we fear. This is where self-discovery begins. Solitude offers the clarity to differentiate between what has been imposed upon us and what genuinely belongs to us. It is the process of untangling the threads of societal expectations, personal insecurities, and inherited beliefs to uncover our authentic identity. Moreover, solitude fosters self-awareness. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that we begin to see patterns in our thinking and behavior. We notice the habits that guide us, the emotions that drive us, and the beliefs that shape our decisions. With awareness comes the ability to question these patterns. Are they serving us or are they holding us back? Are they reflective of who we want to be, or are they remnants of who we've been told we should be? These are the kinds of inquiries that solitude encourages and enables. Beyond self-awareness, solitude also nurtures creativity and vision. When we are alone, we can explore ideas and possibilities without fear of judgment. The absence of external input allows our imagination to roam freely. It is often in these quiet moments that the seeds of innovation, inspiration, and aspiration are planted. History is replete with examples of individuals who found their greatest insights, solutions, and creations in moments of solitude. Solitude, therefore, is not merely an escape from the world, it is a return to oneself. It is a practice of stepping away from the chaos of daily life to engage in the deeper work of understanding, growth, and self-definition. In the stillness, we discover the depths of who we are, and from that understanding, we can begin to shape a life that aligns with our true nature. It is through solitude that self-discovery becomes not just a possibility, but a reality. The fear of being alone with oneself is deeply rooted in human nature, and it often stems from an aversion to facing inner truths. Solitude, while offering clarity and peace, can feel unsettling because it forces us to confront the parts of ourselves that we might otherwise avoid. In the silence, there is no one else to distract us from the thoughts we suppress, the emotions we bury, or the doubts that linger beneath the surface. This confrontation can be uncomfortable, even frightening, but it is also necessary for growth. When we are constantly surrounded by noise, we have the luxury of avoidance. The endless stream of notifications, conversations, and external demands keeps us occupied and prevents us from looking inward. It's much easier to lose ourselves in distractions than to confront what lies within. Yet, the very act of avoiding solitude comes at a cost. By keeping ourselves perpetually busy, we deny ourselves the opportunity to address the unresolved aspects of our lives. These unresolved truths don't disappear simply because we ignore them. They remain shaping our thoughts, actions, and relationships in ways we might not fully understand. The fear of facing inner truths often arises from the possibility of discovering things about ourselves that we don't like. Perhaps it's a fear of acknowledging past mistakes, unfulfilled ambitions, or feelings of inadequacy. Perhaps it's the realization that we've been living inauthentically, pursuing goals that don't align with our true values. These realizations can be painful, but they are also liberating. To acknowledge a truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is to take the first step toward change. Denying it, on the other hand, keeps us stuck in patterns that limit our potential. In solitude, we are forced to sit with our thoughts and emotions, and this can feel overwhelming. Yet, it is through this discomfort that we grow. Facing inner truths is not about dwelling on negativity or succumbing to self-criticism. It's about recognizing what is real and taking ownership of it. This process requires courage, but it also builds resilience. By confronting what we fear within ourselves, we develop the strength to navigate life with greater clarity and purpose. What many fail to realize is that these inner truths, though challenging, are not our enemies. They are, in fact, the key to understanding ourselves more deeply. They reveal what we truly need, what we truly value, and where we need to focus our efforts to grow. Solitude provides the space to listen to these truths without judgment or distraction. It allows us to process our emotions, gain insight into our behaviors, and redefine our priorities. Ultimately, the fear of facing inner truths is a fear of transformation. Change is inherently uncomfortable, but it is also essential. By embracing solitude and the truths it reveals, we open ourselves to the possibility of becoming more authentic, more self-aware, and more fulfilled individuals. It is in facing these truths that we find the strength to not only accept ourselves, but to actively shape the person we want to become. Solitude, though daunting at times, is a path to self-discovery, and through it we can overcome the fear that holds us back. Being alone with yourself is not merely a passive state of isolation, but an active and deliberate process of reflection and inner organization. It requires intentionality and effort to sit with your thoughts, analyze them, and make sense of the inner chaos that often lies beneath the surface. This process is not easy, but it is essential for developing clarity, understanding, and control over your life. In the absence of this kind of reflection, we risk becoming overwhelmed by the noise within us, unprocessed emotions, scattered thoughts, and unresolved conflicts. Solitude, when approached with purpose, offers the opportunity to transform that noise into a sense of order. The mind, left unchecked, can feel like a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. Without deliberate reflection, these mental fragments can pull us in different directions, leaving us feeling confused and overwhelmed. Solitude allows us to pause, step back, and examine what's happening within. It gives us the space to question our assumptions, revisit our decisions, and make sense of our experiences. This act of reflection is not passive. It requires a willingness to engage with the discomfort of uncertainty and complexity. It's about looking at your thoughts, not as fleeting distractions, but as messages that need to be understood and organized. When you take the time to reflect in solitude, you begin to notice patterns in your thinking and behavior. You start to see the underlying motivations behind your actions, the fears that hold you back, and the desires that drive you forward. This awareness is critical because it enables you to make conscious choices about how to live your life. Without this level of introspection, we often operate on autopilot, driven by habits and impulses that may not serve us well. Solitude provides the clarity needed to break free from these patterns and replace them with intentional actions that align with our values and goals. Inner organization also involves sorting through your priorities. In the rush of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Solitude offers a chance to step away from external demands and focus on your own needs and aspirations. It allows you to identify what's essential and what's merely noise. This process of prioritization is not just about making to-do lists. It's about aligning your actions with your purpose. It's about ensuring that the life you're building reflects who you are and what you stand for. Engaging in solitude also helps to develop emotional regulation. When we allow ourselves the time to sit with our emotions, we begin to understand their roots and significance. Instead of reacting impulsively to situations, we gain the ability to respond thoughtfully. This emotional clarity is a direct result of the act of reflection that solitude enables. Ultimately, the process of reflection and inner organization in solitude equips you with the tools to navigate life with greater confidence and purpose. It helps you to clarify your thoughts, align your actions, and manage your emotions effectively. While it requires effort and commitment, the rewards of this practice are profound. Through active reflection, solitude becomes not just a retreat from the world, but a powerful means of preparing yourself to engage with it more effectively. Solitude often brings with it a profound realization the responsibility for your life lies squarely in your own hands. This awareness can feel heavy at first because it confronts you with the undeniable truth that there is no one else to blame for your choices, nor anyone else who can live your life for you. Yet, this realization is also immensely empowering. It means that you are not a passive participant in life, subject only to circumstances and the decisions of others. You are the architect of your future, and solitude is the space where you can begin to design it. When you spend time alone, you are stripped of the distractions and influences that typically shape your decisions. You are left with yourself, your thoughts, and the question of what truly matters to you. In this quiet space, you come face to face with the understanding that your actions or lack of them are what determine the trajectory of your life. This awareness of responsibility is not about assigning blame, but about recognizing your capacity for agency. It's the realization that while you cannot control everything, you can control how you respond to the challenges and opportunities that come your way. Taking responsibility for your life starts with acknowledging your role and where you are today. This doesn't mean dismissing the impact of external factors or denying the challenges you've faced. It means accepting that you have the power to shape your future, regardless of your past. Solitude provides the clarity needed to evaluate your current situation honestly. It allows you to examine the choices that brought you here and to consider whether those choices were aligned with your values and goals. If they weren't, solitude gives you the space to recalibrate and chart a new course. The empowering aspect of personal responsibility lies in its inherent freedom. When you accept that you are responsible for your life, you free yourself from the trap of victimhood. Instead of focusing on what's beyond your control, you shift your attention to what you influence. This shift in perspective is transformative. It replaces feelings of helplessness with a sense of possibility. You begin to see challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to grow, learn, and adapt. Solitude is the crucible where this transformation begins, as it provides the time and space to reflect on your potential and plan your path forward. Moreover, accepting responsibility and solitude fosters accountability. When you spend time alone, there's no one else to point fingers at, no external distractions to deflect from your reality. This honesty can be uncomfortable, but it's also where real change begins. Accountability encourages you to take ownership of your goals, your habits, and your mindset. It's a process of recognizing that while you can't always control what happens, you are always in charge of how you respond. Solitude is the ultimate proving ground for personal responsibility. It challenges you to stand on your own, confront your fears, and take control of your life. It is within this space that you discover your strengths, clarify your priorities, and cultivate the discipline to act on them. Responsibility may feel like a burden at first, but it is, in fact, a gift, the gift of knowing that your life is yours to shape, and the power to do so lies within you. Mastering solitude is not just a matter of spending time alone. It is a profound skill that, once developed, enhances every aspect of life. When you learn to be comfortable in your own company, you gain clarity, emotional strength, and a deeper understanding of yourself. This mastery becomes the foundation for personal growth, self-confidence, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with purpose and resilience. Solitude, when embraced intentionally, transforms from something to be feared into a powerful tool for self-mastery. At its core, mastering solitude is about learning to listen to your own voice. In the world we live in, filled with constant noise and endless opinions, it can be difficult to distinguish your own thoughts from those of others. Solitude silences the external distractions and creates a space where you can connect with your authentic self. This connection fosters self-awareness, helping you to identify your values, desires, and beliefs without the influence of societal pressures or the expectations of others. The more comfortable you become with this process, the clearer your sense of identity and purpose becomes. Another critical aspect of mastering solitude is the emotional strength it cultivates. When you are alone, you inevitably face moments of discomfort, loneliness, self-doubt, or the resurfacing of unresolved emotions. These moments are not weaknesses to avoid, but opportunities to build resilience. By sitting with your emotions rather than running from them, you develop the capacity to process and understand them. This emotional clarity equips you to face life's challenges with a greater sense of calm and control. It teaches you that you are capable of handling discomfort and that you don't need to rely on external validation to feel whole. Solitude also nurtures creativity and innovation. When you are alone, your mind is free to wander without interruption. It's in these moments of stillness that new ideas often emerge. Many of history's greatest thinkers, writers, and inventors sought solitude as a way to tap into their creative potential. This is because the absence of external input allows your imagination to flourish. Mastering solitude means learning to use this creative energy constructively, whether to solve problems, explore new possibilities, or pursue meaningful goals. Furthermore, solitude strengthens your ability to build intentional relationships. When you know yourself deeply and are comfortable in your own company, you approach relationships from a place of confidence rather than dependency. You no longer seek others to fill a void within yourself. Instead, you connect with them authentically, valuing quality over quantity. This self-assuredness fosters healthier, more meaningful connections as you are able to give and receive without fear or insecurity. Mastering solitude ultimately means mastering life. It gives you the tools to navigate the complexities of existence with clarity and intention. It empowers you to take responsibility for your choices, embrace your individuality, and create a life that aligns with your values. It teaches you that while external circumstances may change, your inner strength and self-awareness are constants you can rely on. By embracing solitude, you unlock your full potential and lay the foundation for a life of purpose, growth, and fulfillment.